Assembly, please come to order. Could we have the pledge, please?
I tell you, it's interesting. Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag, United States of America,
and to the
to the
republic
republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everybody. Please have a look at the minutes, and we're going to have a PBSO report. No, you got to turn it on. Flip the switch.
You guys hear me now?
Oh, very
Perfect.
good.
All right. I didn't want to hear my own voice. That's probably I was okay with it. Hope you guys had a good holiday weekend that just passed. We'll go over a few things, and I'll say a couple of extra things here. So in Century Village, altogether, you guys had 286 calls for service. 32 cases were reported. Primarily, the majority of the calls were business. We call them business/residence checks, but in this development, they're all residence checks. You guys did have several vehicle stops. A few thefts were reported. Some neighbor trouble disputes. Some of you guys are not getting along with your neighbors, so we do respond to that. Okay, we try to facilitate a peaceful resolution as best we can in those matters. A couple more embezzlement, fraud type cases, but in general, the majority of it was business residence checks. Then I'll go over, before I get to the traffic stops, and I'll talk about that in a second, we'll kind of go over the crime cases. We had one stolen vehicle that was reported in the beginning of November. But this vehicle was left in the parking lot, I'm assuming with the keys in the car, the way the report was, but we were able to recover the vehicle in Manalapan. So the vehicle was returned to the owner. Again, a motorcycle was taken out of one of the parking lots. We did have one report of a residential burglary. The victim did have, I think, what you would consider like ring type cameras based on the report. And then the suspect was eventually arrested. So cameras do help, okay? Cameras, if we get some identification on the person, we do follow up very extensively with that. Bicycle thefts. We've had several reports of bicycle thefts in the village altogether. In one particular case, believe it or not, it was a woman involved in that, okay? So our detectives and our road deputies work very vigilantly to recover these bicycles. This person in particular has been arrested. We've identified them. Some bikes were returned. But, again, when you park your bike on the side of the, wherever you guys are, you put it next to a tree, make sure you guys are using those bicycle locks, okay? Because people will take those bicycles. Right now in the county, because it's holiday season, the economy is not good for a lot of people. We do understand that. We are seeing a spike in crime across the county, all the way up to the Martin County line, all the way south to Boca. So we're seeing it everywhere. And it's these type of small crimes, these bicycle thefts, these cars left unlocked. A lot of times in the residential neighborhoods, people, for whatever reason, still don't want to lock their cars, okay? And we want to make sure you guys here, and I want to stress that, I understand this is a very safe community. Central Village is one of the safest communities in Palm Beach County. But please protect your valuables by locking your car door. Takes a second, hit the button, go out, if you got to go do it manually. And another thing I ask you to is please, especially for the ladies, not so much for the guys, don't leave your purse. I know it's convenient sometimes because you want to, jump out and do what you got to do, run your errands, and you leave your purse in the back seat where you can reach and grab it. This is what these I'll call them gentlemen for the sake of the meeting are doing. This is what they do. They look, they see something they like. You guys have some nice fancy purses. I see some on your hips, and I see this lady move hers. It's really nice looking. They take a look at that, and they go in for that purse. And they're hoping they get some good stuff, which was kind of good. The last part, we had one incident of fraud, which was a PayPal incident. It was only $400. So I don't know if you guys who've been here for the last couple meetings, we've had some cases where they're into thousands and thousands of dollars. So recently, the fraud in this community did kind of, I don't want to say it subsided, but we didn't get any big hits of anything. Next, the next part is traffic stops. So your leadership within the village has asked us to involve ourselves with more traffic. Okay, we do patrol this area, but if you see more of us, it's because normally we're requested, and then we may have experienced something. So I'll give you a little nugget. I think you guys got a chance to meet the mayor a couple weeks ago. He came out, he was leaving, and he almost got blindsided at a stop sign. Okay. So that's my boss's boss. So then I get a phone call. Where's the traffic in Central Village? Because and he's like, he has a big giant blue F-150. So he almost got hit for somebody not reading the stopping the stop sign. So we have increased traffic and development. And you guys, I'll say this, you guys have some speeders in here. Okay. You guys are reliving your glory days coming up and down these streets. So, but we have increased. We had 90 traffic stops, 100 citations were written, 31 written warnings, and 5 verbals. And I will say this, for the residents of the community, the deputies are still, they're very lax with you guys. They don't want to write tickets. They want to cooperate with you guys. They kind of want to give you guys instructions, and that's what they've been generally doing. Some of these citations have not always been residents. There are people that are contractors and stuff in here because we're gonna crack down on that. And then the other thing is, I will say this, please, when you deal with law enforcement, just be respectful. They're just doing their job. They don't know who's in the car. They're just trying to, maybe follow the request of some of your leadership here. Another thing, besides some of you guys are speeders, you guys have some nice mouths on you guys, we've heard. You guys are, but that's it. So that's pretty much the report. If you guys have any questions for me before I go, just let me know, raise your hand. Yes, sir. Well, if you have the arrow, you have the right of way. But okay, but I would say this. I want to make this clear. This is Florida. This is a very transient state. We right now, if you guys, this is a great state. Whatever you want to say about it, I'm not getting into politics. It's a great state. We have everybody. I'll put it like this. We had the most people from California, Texas, and other places far west move to this state within the last 2 years. So with that being said, we have people that come from foreign. Everybody does not follow the rules here, okay? And they come with their own driving patterns from their own state and their own locations. And I take a second before I go through any green light and I pause because I don't know how many people can't seem to see a red light. So I just want you guys to be safe because, I don't know how I could take a hit, but I don't definitely want you guys taking a head-on collision or anything like that. Yes, ma'am.
I've noticed that Haverhill Light, a lot of people don't realize the people coming out of the church have the right of way.
Okay.
There are 2 microphones in the back. If you go there so everybody could hear what you're saying, please.
I'm saying that a lot of people in here don't realize that and when the people coming out of the synagogue have the right of way if they're coming into our community. These people still turn in front of the people that are coming out of that building. Because I've seen a lot of them. In fact, my neighbor, she said, what am I supposed to do? I said, you're supposed to see at green light. They're coming out, they got the right of way from the synagogue. Am I correct?
Yes. And there's a yield sign on our side. Unfortunately, not everybody can read it.
I know.
Shouldn't be driving if you can't read that sign.
Well, there was a real bad accident just the other day there.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? We have another question. Come on up to the microphone, please. We can't hear you. What are the rules?
I would like to know what the rules are.
Yeah.
I would like to know what the rules are regarding motorized bicycles on the walkway. This seems to be something new. I was almost knocked down by a motorized bicycle the other day.
I'm not aware of what the rules are about riding a motorized vehicle on a sidewalk.
Shouldn't they be on the roadway, I imagine?
I don't know, maybe you can help us, officer? You can? Okay.
Sure. So what's happened, okay, let's see. Let's try to do it quick and easy as possible. You guys have all seen, what you guys are starting to see an influx of is, same with electric cars, you're starting to see the electric bikes, okay? And in previous times with law enforcement, what we would do is, you know, it was like a CC, like, you know, the size of the motor, how fast the bike can go would determine where the bike should be. Like, you know, if you, and I'm trying to make it easy for you guys, you know, some of those old school gas bikes that were, you know, they can only barely go 15 miles an hour, they were considered just a regular bike. Now that the new laws, especially with some of these electric bikes, they can go fast, they should be riding the bike path. Now, but if it's a bicycle and it's an electric bike, that's what I'm saying. When you say motorized, I don't want to give you the wrong answer, because is it motorized, is it electric, is it gas pedal, you know, is it gas powered bike? With technology, all this stuff is, but if you're saying that the bicycle should give the pedestrian the right of way. So if you have somebody on a bike, I don't care if it's just a regular person on a bike, they shouldn't be mowing down a pedestrian pedaling, you know, full speed. So if that's something that, if you want, and I'll make sure that if we need to do some bicycle instructions, I can have deputies come in here to start monitoring that too, and then maybe see it. I don't know if that's an issue that you guys have. Or you guys want to talk about that first before
We'll talk it
Okay.
at the security meeting.
Okay, I'll
Is
let
that all
you
right?
guys talk about that, and then you'll get back to me on that if you want me to.
Thank you. All right. Okay, are there any corrections to the minutes that everybody has read and now knows inside and out? I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented. George, second by Sandy Levine. Okay. We'll start off with our CAM report.
Oh, I'm not sure if I was prepared. Good morning, everyone. Glad to be back. Thank you all, and I want to thank you all for, you can't imagine how many calls and cards and letters I got. I really felt like this is my home, and I'm glad to be back to it. I missed a month, so I have something of a list. So if you bear with me, I'll get through it as quickly as possible. Reflection Bay, preliminary work is continuing. We expect a quiet title action to be concluded sometime this month. That would be settling some land ownership issues that would give UCO actual ownership of all of South Canal, so that we can have it dredged. Survey work is in progress. The engineer's report is pending. Once the engineer's report is done, then it's time to bid out the job, which will be dredging the canal from one end to the other, from Fairway Street almost to the turnpike. So that project is you can't see much right now, but things are happening. Second thing is Lieutenant Hood reported on this already. It's Christmas time. Everybody's getting packages, and we have porch pirates. Do you guys know what porch pirates are? All right. Our security contractor, NPBSO, caught a fellow just this past week. He's in jail. But just be, you know, if you're expecting something, you know, make some kind of arrangement. Don't just, everybody knows there's something good in those packages. It's Christmas time. If it's steaks, jewelry, you know, just keep it in mind. Next thing is insurance. On the 7th of this month, there will be a presentation in the party room or room C? Yeah. Party room, by our insurance carrier, our insurance broker, Assured Partners. Phil Massey is going to give a presentation on the current state of the insurance situation, which I know is on everyone's mind, and that will be an opportunity also to ask the carrier specific questions, and also you're going to get your option sheets, which if you're on a board, you know you have to do that every year. Next, I'm sure everyone's noticed that there's probably more restoration work and construction work going on in the village than I've ever seen since I've been here, almost 10 years. The buildings are, for the most part, investing in their properties, and they're really contractors are working all over the place. However, there are, at the moment, 8 associations who have been cited for allowing their buildings to deteriorate. I'm guessing none of those associations are represented here because, that tends to be the case. So those associations are already on the special magistrates dockets for the 6th of this month and the 10th of next month. It's a serious thing. So you'll see this in my report, but check with, if you're not on your board, check with your board. Say, are we good? But I'd say for the most part, buildings suddenly are really going out of their way. Roofs, concrete restoration, paint. I think the village is improving, and I'm glad to see it. Next thing is fire safety inspections. The fire department inspector has been to all the buildings, and each building got a fire safety report. Most of those were sent to your property manager, which would be Seacrest. If you haven't received it, pass, fail, or otherwise, check with your manager and make sure that you see it at least. Most of them are passes, but there are some fails. My building was one of them. Whatever's on that sheet, you need to comply and then send proof of compliance to the fire department. Okay, because I doubt it would ever come to that, but there are fines associated with that as well. Last thing, on the 15th of this month, in this room, in this theater, the building department, Palm Beach County Code Enforcement, are going to do their annual show. They're going to come up here with all the departments, and they're going to explain what you guys need to do and prevent from happening, and there'll be some other experts there to help you with the problem of unpermitted construction and things of that nature. It was a very good show the last time. I mean, from the director of the department on down. So I hope you'll all attend. We're also going to record it and put it up on the television station, so you'll be able to watch it as well. That's all I got for this month. I'm happy to answer any questions or take on any work. Yes, sir.
Yes, and is there any progress being made on the wall going to the Florida Turnpike? Mike, I gotta get the mic. Is there any progress being made on the wall going to the entrance on the Florida Turnpike? It was spoke about a few times at a couple of meetings that it was going to be done towards the end of this quarter. Have you heard anything about that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
The Turnpike Authority has determined that they're going to put a sound wall along the our side of the Florida Turnpike for the whole length of our property and then beyond. What they have not determined is the height of the wall, but you're definitely going to get one. And yes, you're right. They did project last quarter of 2023 but I see no signs of that stop. And that's not surprising. You're welcome. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hi, Don. John Harley,
Good to see you,
Andover.
Mr. Harley.
Huh?
Good to see you.
I received a tax bill, and I'm looking at the itemized things in my tax bill, and I see that we're paying I guess West Palm Beach or Florida for garbage pickup, and we're also paying for it inside the village. So it looks
That's
like
correct. You make your association makes 2 payments. One is for the Solid Waste Authority. I'm on the advisory committee of that
But I
authority.
mean, why is
I'm
it?
gonna finish.
If they have a transfer plant?
Sir, if you let me finish,
go ahead, go ahead.
I have a response prepared for you.
Okay.
Okay. Your association makes 2 payments. One, or your units pay. One is to the Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County. That essentially is for the operation of Solid Waste Authority, including the dump and all the other facilities. And then you make a second payment to your association makes a second payment to whichever vendor is assigned to service us, and that's for your dumpster and for your dumpster service.
Okay.
So that basically, one is a tax essentially, and the other is a fee for service.
Okay. So in other words, we're paying for a carting company inside the village.
Of course.
Yes, and who gets to pick what carting company it is? That's a county decision.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a service area. I believe it's service area 1, Niels, is that correct? We're in service area 1, correct? Not quite sure. Me neither. I always forget, and I'm on the committee.
All right,
But,
Donnie. Secondly,
yeah.
when I first bought a condo in here, we used to, when I came into the village, we had white lights up on the trees and so forth, and we had lights on both entrances.
We're gonna hang some lights on both guardhouses over the weekend.
No, I'm not looking for the holidays. I remember when it was just like other condos
Yeah.
where they had the lights, and you talked about beautifying the front entrances and
Yeah.
so forth. Well, the lights were on the trees and so
Yeah, we
forth.
took 'em
And it
down.
why?
They kept catching fire and lighting our trees on fire, and the wraps were
How
damaged.
could they catch fire? What was catching fire?
It's electric, water.
The
Yeah.
water.
Decision was made by the committee that we would no longer have those, that they weren't a good thing for us to have. So as far as holiday lights, because I've been asked a few times in the lobby, over the weekend, we're going to hang some lights on the,
Okay, but
On the
I mean,
guardhouse.
when I drive around all over, I see them in other villages, and they look beautiful, all the
Yeah.
condos and so forth. But ours is just.
sure. Thank you,
All
sir.
right.
Bruce
Hey, I know this guy.
Sorry, I just came in a little late, so you may have discussed it, but
Sorry,
why
I
is
didn't see
it,
you.
why is it taking so long for the Hastings clubhouse to be renovated, the washrooms? And also over here, I was just happened to be in the main clubhouse, the men's locker room, and there was a sign there from September 26th, and it's sort of blocked off, so.
Listen, that one's outside my area of responsibility, so I'm going to give it to the president pro tem. This is really a operations committee matter, so I'm going to let Fausto answer. that, right?
The problem with the Hastings is the inspection of the electrical system. Everything that they do, the electrical inspector comes in. They've had to double the amount of electrical lighting and wiring because the replacement of the sauna went to electric, and the demand is much greater. But everything that they do has to be permitted and inspected. And sometimes the inspection doesn't, even though the work is done, it takes them some time. But they're getting near the end of the inspections.
Okay.
It's not that we're holding it up. The county is not doing their inspections on time. That's what we're told.
Okay. They'll
Does
be
that
here
answer
the
your
15th.
question?
Yeah.
And
over
as far as the building over here,
Yeah.
they had a pipe break and we had a washout underneath the shower room there. So the pipe that's in there, the black pipe, needs to be replaced. And the hole that 6 foot deep underneath there needs to be filled up. And then the bathroom will be put back together.
There's an expected completion date?
I do not.
Okay. All right, thank you.
The town will not tell us you're gonna be finished by date X.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bruce Stutzman, Wellington A.
Yes,
You mentioned 2 meetings, one on the 7th, insurance. What time is that meeting?
That one in the,
there's a flyer in your
it's in here. It's in the package.
It's in the package. 12 to 3, December 6th, 10 to 1 at the clubhouse on December 7th, 10 to 1.
So 10 a.m.
So read my packet. How about the code enforcement show?
I believe that one starts, it'll be in my report this week, but I believe it's 10 o'clock as well.
Thank you, kind sir.
And that's going to be on the television, it's going to be in my report, it'll be in the newspaper, so plenty of time, all right?
Thank you, David.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Ann Conroy from Sheffield Den. I also have a question on the Hastings Clubhouse. I was at Eva's office 2 weeks ago, and I was told at that time that they failed the fire inspection, something about the sensors. But they have the equipment, they have to put in new sensors, they have the equipment, they have the permit, it's just getting the people. And I asked who was doing that work, and they said the same people that had done, the work in the clubhouse.
Correct.
With the men's and ladies' room.
Well, when
And
they,
now, I read yesterday, I picked up a UCO reporter, and I read something about the pipe. I think it was Dave Israel's column, So it was like conflicting things. Eva said one thing, and Dave Israel said that there was,
There's two things, ma'am. That was this, one is Hastings and one is the main clubhouse. Hastings has to do with the electrical for the sauna, and here in the clubhouse, it has to do with underground piping, black pipe that
Oh,
needs
all
to be
right. So
replaced.
that was two different, okay.
Two different things.
So we still don't know. I mean, 2 weeks ago, they said they were all set, they're just waiting for the work to get done. I mean,
And then after it gets done, it needs to be inspected.
yeah.
So,
well,
okay.
But it seems like nobody's working on anything over there.
They're working.
And everybody's kind of fed up with having that closed since July.
Well, Eva's the right person to talk to because she's the one that's on top of what's going on there.
Okay, all right, thank you.
But I'm sure Donald will follow up on it. And we do have a monthly meeting with WPRF, which we get updates, and that's what we're giving you, what we're told.
Okay.
All right, I'll tell you what, I'll follow up with Dan Cruz and with Eva today. I'll get a blurb from them, and I'll put it in my report, so it goes out on Sunday.
I also suggested that they put something on the TV channel to update people, because people are,
All right,
talking amongst themselves.
That's actually a good idea. I'll get it directly from the horses' mouths, and we'll get it up any way we can, but you'll see it in my report first.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We have somebody in the back. Yes, yes, sir.
Michael Brenner, Sussex Key. What's going on with the Dorchester pool? It's
That's an Eva question. You need to talk to Eva.
okay.
Can you be more specific, sir?
A couple of weeks ago, the water drained out of the pool. They don't know why, and it's been closed ever since. And they keep postponing the reopening date, so it's not open right now.
I'll do the same for that, sir. I'll get with Eva. I'll get a blurb. I'll get it out in my report so everybody
Thank you,
can see
Donald.
it. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Sally Spidell from Dover. You mentioned, my question is on both of these, that the magistrate has been out to aid of the associations, and ours is one of them. And also,
No, that's not the case, ma'am. Dover is not on the special magistrate's docket for the next two meetings. I checked.
well, that's not what was said at our board meeting. So, and also the fire safety, how do we, if there is one on Dover, because it's not what the unit owners were told at the meeting,
Uh-huh.
and the fire safety inspection report, how do we, as unit owners, get copies of those?
Check with your board.
And your management company.
That's a joke. Thank you.
It should be posted on the bulletin board. I see you, Richard. Richard.
Richard Handelsman, Plymouth 5. I'm on the Operations Committee, which has jurisdiction over all the recreation facilities in Century Village, which are owned by Benenson Corporation of New York. Any problems, kudos, or criticisms about the recreation facilities should be brought to the Operations Committee, not here. That's all I can say. And there you can find out why things are being delayed inevitably, and when hopefully, I've had 5 predictions given to me so far. We just don't know when it'll be done. Inspections, electricity, and so forth. But as I said, anything to do with the recreation facilities, bring up at the Operations Committee, not here. Thank you.
Thank you. We have 141 delegates, so we can conduct business. Thank you. Okay. Donald, anything else, or you're done?
No, that's enough.
Okay. Amen. Okay, we're going to start with your vice president's report. Patricia.
Question?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
What's with the beautification committee?
What do you mean?
It's like it doesn't exist or what?
Currently, it's on hiatus, but if you need more information, Stuart is the head of that committee. Do you have any updates?
Excuse me.
We have not met because of the COVID, and we have really not done anything with the beautification. They have put plants in there, and that we're satisfied with what we see. But we have talked about restarting the committee, and we'll make an announcement fairly soon, and then you'll come in and share your ideas with us, okay?
Okay, sooner the better.
Fausto, if it's okay, I have some
Go ahead.
comment on that. Ma'am, just, when you say beautification, that almost always means landscaping. Just to let you know, there are a couple of projects. One is the front of the Century Village sign at the Okeechobee entrance. Literally, as you were talking, I just gave the okay to the vendor to put some new plants there because they're looking a little scrubby. Another thing that's in the pipe is it's time to harvest the coconuts. It's a little early this year because we got so much rain in the past month. So you're going to see all the palms get trimmed over the next couple weeks. Please don't eat the coconuts. They've got insecticide in them. But that's a couple of things we have in the pipe right now. All right?
Donald.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. On the road leading to Chatham Island.
I'm somewhat familiar with that road.
Right. You did a nice job covering up that water pump for sound and everything with the bushes and the fence. The other day,
Yeah, those Italian
pulled them
cypress
all up.
it was 10 years and they started to die. So we got rid of them and we put Calusia. By next year, because we put irrigation there, it'll be a giant Calusia shrub. You won't even know there's a pump there.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Patricia, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
I know I have a big mouth, but not that big. Good morning, everyone. It's great to see you. I hope you had a nice holiday. And before I forget, because I forgot last month, I'm going to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and Happy Holidays, so no one is offended. I usually talk about transportation, but I don't feel like being redundant today. I think you all know by now. You have a complaint, you put it in writing, it comes to me, and I take care of it. It's just that simple. There has been a tremendous improvement, as a lot of people have come to tell me. Even the bus drivers are being very polite and helping people on the bus, which they should have been doing all along. So, on another note, election time is coming up. I think you all know that. I think more people should take an interest and step up to the plate and come into UCO, and let's make a difference and work together, because the community is a little bit in disarray. Another thing is that with holiday season, instead of people being happy, they get grouchy, they're spending money they can't afford to spend, they want to fight. Please be nice to each other. Holiday is about spending time together with family and friends. It's not about presents. And let's not lose sight of what it really represents. Other than that, I'm going to shut up and do you people a favor and wish you a beautiful and blessed day.
Thank you, Patricia. Yes, sir, you have a question?
Yeah, Donna, maybe you can answer this. I've been noticing a lot of the fire hydrants are out of service. There's one in front of my association that's out of service. It's been out of service for weeks upon weeks. And there's a couple down the block, and they actually got a round black sign that says temporarily out of service.
Yes.
Is there anything that can be done to maybe speed up that process? Because
There's no process. That's
okay.
That's routine pipe flushing by the water company. The one by your house, if you look at it, it has a faucet on it, like an old-fashioned kitchen faucet.
Yes.
And they're opening it up periodically to flush the pipes out.
But why would the sign say it's out of service?
Well, so that the fireman doesn't hook up to it and find out that there's no water coming over it at the moment.
Okay,
That's-
but
the water company pretty much has this.
Okay, good. Thank you, Don.
You're welcome.
Stuart, you're up.
If you recall, virtually every meeting we have here in the Delegate Assembly over the last 2 years, the first thing that people talk about is the drivers and safety. You can hit somebody over the head to tell them to drive slow, but they're not. We put a sign up, says 25 miles an hour. Nobody paid attention to it. They just zip right by. You talked about the clubhouse. Well, look at what happened. It's an individual that went ahead and threw something on the sauna and started the fire. It's people that caused the problem. And if you have people who act in an irresponsible way, there's nothing we could do about it. For example, last night, I'm leaving the clubhouse and I'm driving past Gulf's Edge, and there are two women dressed in black right down the middle of the street, almost invisible. And here I am with my headlights on full bright, and their movements are disappearing into the background. And lucky I was going about 15 miles an hour, otherwise there would have been a problem. You talk about who has the right of way when you're leaving the Century Village. I suggest let the other guy have the right of way, and you err in caution because you're going to have a problem. And the other thing is, because the demographics of Century Village has changed dramatically, what we have over the past year is people coming in asking questions about what goes on in their association, and these questions should have been answered by well-educated presidents and vice presidents of the boards of these buildings. The problem is, many of them are not here, others never take the classes, or they're incapable of answering the question because they don't know and they don't care. So now we here at UCO, we find when we tell these people, we try to help them, and when we tell these people with the problems that go back to their board, it's not so much that they're insulted, but we feel it's unfair to them. They should know better when they purchase the unit, or their building should be run better. You have to have a sense of humor, and that's what we have here at UCO. And I got to tell you, we have I want to take this opportunity to make believe this is a glass of wine, okay? I'm saluting everybody at UCO because with all the problems, they're doing a fantastic job, and they're great people to work with, and I'm so happy to be up here on the dais with them. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Stuart. Joanne, our TV star.
Oh, it's nice to be called a TV star. Thanks for everyone showing up. I'm always impressed when we get a nice turnout for these assemblies, because taking time out of your day to listen to us is wonderful. And I'm very glad to hear that more and more people are starting to rely on watching TV. It's probably the easiest way to communicate. And I'm finding that people are bringing stuff in, or they're contributing some different activities that are going on. And as the holidays approach, and the different clubs that you may be involved with, or even your association, if you have some sort of an event or a gathering that you want publicized, send me an email, and I'll be glad to do what I can to put whatever on TV that I can and share with people, and especially the clubs. Anything that we can get group pictures. We just want to show what's going on in the village, and we've got 3 TV channels to do it with. And I want to make sure that we're keeping people informed in a real-time sense. I know the paper has a lot of information in it. However, there's always a cutoff that, anything happening after a certain date, you can't get in the paper. So we have the TV now that we can instantly get things up on TV and running. So I'm glad I'm able to facilitate having that for all of our residents. The trick is to make sure that people are watching. So get the word out. I do have the little flyer in the package today, and I would ask that if you would, when you get back to your association, post it on your bulletin boards, just to remind your residents that we do have these 3 TV channels, so not everyone is even aware that they're there. So other than that, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you. Give her a big round of applause. Come on. You never saw such good, nice pictures, nice information on the TV channels. All right, David Boaz, please.
Good morning, all. Just want to elaborate on what Stuart and Joanne said. We've got 3 groups of volunteers. Our people that work at the front desk, the people that work at investigations, and the people that work behind the desk and administer the barcodes. They are extremely hardworking people. They try to be as patient as they can be, and I think they do a good job at it. And I also have to thank the people that came in this week for all their patience. We had a busy week, and they really were understanding of the situation. We do get jammed up there on occasion, and I want to thank all those people that did that. And just a quick reminder that notary service for Century Village items are available every day of the week, Monday through Thursday from 9 till 12, and on Friday from 12 to 3. And once again, that would be notary service for things that are pertaining to Century Village. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Ed Grossman, your treasurer's report.
Good morning, everyone.
Oh, let me get your mic, Ed.
This shows how conscious we are about spending money. We are running short of mics. We used to have a mic for every other person. Now we cut it back. What I wanted to first say is December 7th is an important day for all of us. And no one mentioned that's Pearl Harbor. And I think we see a repeating of history go on and on. So a moment of silence, I think I'm calling for those who gave their lives at Pearl Harbor and during the war. Thank you all. Quick comments, as it can be a short report. Not everybody agrees with everything, and I think our learned chair of the advisory committee brought out that if you have complaints, this is not the place to put it. However, I think it is a place to air it, not to expect to have it, so everybody can be aware of what's going on within the village. Having said all that, I'm happy to report that the month which you have in your packet, which is not current, which we don't have, first of all, we've increased the information because if you look at it, you now have bank reconciliations, and you have on each line what bank our money is in. The next thing is, I'm happy to report that the month is really very typical. We dropped about $20,000, which has been pretty consistent, and basically for the same reason, and that is because of the insurance. Also, the revenue versus expenses for the newspaper didn't make what it was projected to make on the budget. Other than that, I think, again, that anybody who has any questions, come into the office, but please call in advance. As I said before, because of medical reasons, I'm not in the office that much, and will continue to try to expand the information that you have. And fortunately, we will see a small increase in the budget for this coming year, which may or may not cover the shortfall. And the meeting on the 7th with insurance, it's very important to all of us, because at what point will it become so expensive that there has to be some other solution, maybe larger deductibles or whatever. And I think we all are aware of the traffic that Stuart brings up. The only thing I find is we keep talking about it, but we haven't gotten a solution. So I hope so before someone gets killed. Having said all that, I wish everybody happy holidays, good health going forward, and the next meeting will be in the new year. Thank you.
Miss Ruth, could we have an update on the UCO reporter, please?
Good morning, everybody. It looks like everyone who was here survived Thanksgiving. Nice to see you all. And yesterday, if you're not aware, was the end of hurricane season. I hope the hurricanes know about that. On to the reporter report. I have a report that goes through November. What you have in your packet is a little backdated. As of November, we're ahead $624 a month, which is not too shabby. I know Bobby's going to get up and talk about our elections a little bit, but I want to point out that it's not too early to send your bios in. If your term is up in whatever office and you're going to run again, I need a new bio. Things change, dates change. I have gotten a couple. Obviously, they don't read the paper because it's not an outline form. Read page 7 of the current issue to see how to prepare your bio and send it in now. You don't need to wait. Other than that, all I can say is happy holidays. No matter which one you celebrate, enjoy it. And I'll see you again on January 5th. I got a very nice compliment about the cover page of the December issue that you just received. I want you to know that I didn't do it. All I do is give the information over to our printer, who is wonderful, and the graphic artist does everything on that page, dates and everything. And thank you to Flora for your kind words about it. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ruth. I'm going to sound like a kindergarten teacher. UCO is not the answer to all your issues. Please listen to these words. If you have a new unit owner or an old owner and he needs a copy of his bylaws, don't send them to UCO. We don't have them there. Okay? It's your responsibility. If you have a renter you have not kept up and his lease has expired, don't send him to UCO to give him a certificate of occupancy or to the ID office. It is your responsibility as officers to make sure that if you have a renter, 30 days before you receive a copy of that lease so that you can see who's on there. If you have a renter who wants to add somebody to the lease, don't send them to UCO. That's not our job. And the worst thing that we hear is UCO has not approved you. We do not approve. We process paperwork for the building. Okay? The other thing that's coming, some people do not use UCO to do their investigation. They either do their own investigation or they use Seacrest, and then they come to UCO to get the certificate of occupancy from us. Okay? If you're doing somebody else other than UCO, you supply that information. Don't come to UCO and say, well, we did our own investigation, but we want to use your form. Okay? Not that we don't want to give it to you. That's not our job. But the biggest problem that we have, most of the officers that are here don't want to be bothered to answer questions. Go to UCO. They got all the answers. We do have all the answers. It's the responsibility of the association. The other thing that you're going to use those bad words, and I'm sure we have some retired lawyers or lawyers in the room. Lawyers are not bad people. But a lot of questions are legal questions, which we are not allowed to answer. You know, and if it comes to investigations, I had somebody that called me last week. Well, we have a gentleman who's had 3 felony charges and he lied on the application, okay? Should I approve him or disapprove him? Well, it's very simple. On the application, did he say he had felony charges? He didn't. So contact your lawyer and say, look, I have somebody that filled an application that lied. What should I do? UCO's not the person that should be giving you that information. That's a legal question. Why is it a legal question? Well, maybe those felony charges were 25 years ago, and the statute of limitations has run out as to when it is. Maybe the guy for the last 20 years has been an absolute perfect model citizen. We don't know that. But this is a legal issue, and you need to do that. The other thing that's more important, and it's coming more and more to light, I brought this up last month, and I'm going to keep preaching it. When you have the seminars, the updates, please attend them. I know that they tell you if you get your certificate, it's good for 3 years, 5 years, for the rest of your life, as long as you sit on the board. Hogwash. The rules and regulations change at least every 6 months. Stuff that gets approved gets either altered or changed. You need to go and attend those classes at least once a year. Now, you have some classes that are done here, some classes are done online, some classes are done downtown at the convention center. Make use of it. Educate yourself. Because if my thought is if I go to sleep at night and I didn't learn anything, I wasted a day of my life. And I think everybody in here should think that way. If I didn't learn something today, I wasted a day. And don't blame somebody else. Well, it's not my job. It's the vice president's job. Well, where's the vice president? Oh, he's in Ohio. Well, how can he run your business of your building if he's not there? The other thing which has come to light over the years, the seal of the corporation should not leave your building. I believe the statute says 25 miles, 40 miles. Well, who's got the seal? Oh, it's in Canada.
Yeah, that's outside of 40 miles.
That's more than 40 miles, even by the way the airplane goes. All the information should stay in your building. And every officer that you have there should be competent enough to know where the seal is, where the bylaws are, and how to run your building. And you have no idea, unless you spend the day or a week in the office, from the people that answer the telephones to the people in the that do barcodes. We ask you 2 simple things: registration in your name and your Century Village ID. I don't have a Century Village ID, and the registration is in Canada or it's in Ohio. I don't have it. That holds up everybody. And then we love the ones that take out their phone. Well, everything is on my phone. That's all fine, well, and good. So we're going to start a new procedure. January 1st, if it's on your phone, we'll take your phone and we'll hold on to it until you bring us the paperwork. The paperwork needs to be scanned. The people that take the phone, I can't scan it. That information, we make copies and it goes into the computer and we have records of what's going on. I can't do that off your telephone. And that goes for guest passes too. So I know, like I said, I feel like a kindergarten teacher, but I'm preaching to the crowd because the people that are here I know are doing a good job, hopefully. But you need to educate the people that are not here, the rest of your officers. You know, there are other things, but I'm gonna stop because Christmas is coming, and I would run out of time and space.
Hey, Fausto, do you mind if I say again for a minute?
Sure, go ahead.
2 things. On these seals, we hear it every day. The seal is gone. It's in Quebec. It's in England. Or the previous treasurer flung it in the lake. These things are not issued by the Vatican. Go to Amazon. go to Association Seal, and there's a vendor called Seals R Us or something, and you could just buy one for $20. You could have more than one seal. It's not illegal. And the second thing is, take a look at this month's UCO Reporter, the article written by Mark Friedman. He gives some very important advice on how to treat applications. And again, like Fausto said, people come into us and say, what do I do? And we have to tell you, go see your lawyer. The other thing is realtors. Mark doesn't think that any of us have any business talking to realtors, and we shouldn't. When an application comes in, we should be accepting it politely and then processing it. And we should basically mug up until the investigation is over and a decision has been made by the board. Less said, the better. But take a look at that, because I'm gonna riff on that a little bit in my report this week. But take a look. I think it's important. All right, that's all I got. Thank you.
Okay. There's one last thing that's very important
Like a tag team.
that I forgot. Common elements of the building. If somebody wants to put central air conditioning in an apartment that doesn't have it, don't send them to UCO to get the paperwork. We do not have paperwork that allows the people to do that. It's a board decision. If somebody wants to take out an interior wall, don't send them to UCO to get the building permits to do that. We have nothing to do with that. That's a board decision. The board has to make that decision. Sometimes when you change the common elements of the building, it requires a vote of the unit owners. Okay? It's your job. These are things that you need to learn, keep in the back of your head. And if you as an officer are not sure, you come to the UCO office, you call one of your vice presidents, and we'll tell you which way to go. Don't send the unit owner down there like we have every once in a while, somebody in tears coming in and say, I need central air conditioning because I can't breathe. And the association says I have to come here and get the paperwork. We don't have the paperwork. It's a building decision. Keep that in mind. Yes, Jerry, I'm sorry.
Okay. First of all, I need to just compliment you guys as Stuart has. You do a great job. I come into the office, your office many times. You guys are fantastic. So,
thank you, Jerry.
Okay. What I wanted to mention is that documents, your declaration of condominium, etc. That's the Bible for your association. Many of you may or may not have updated it. I know my association, I updated it so it's current to 2023. I don't know how many other associations have updated it, but sometimes you can tell the unit owner, look at the documents, it's right there in the documents. And the documents could be dated 1999. So therefore, I think it behooves everybody to look at their documents, and if it has to be updated, update it. Also, according to one of the new things that came down from Palm Beach County, before anybody could do work in their apartment, the board has to approve it. I know in my building, they come to me with the permits and a plan, a scope of work, and I have to decide with the board, are the permits proper? Is everything being done by a licensed electrician, plumber, or contractor? And then I sign off on it, and then it goes to Palm Beach County to get final approval and final permits. So, as Fausto just said, the board really has to be on top of everything. Okay, I'm going to say one more thing, totally a little bit unrelated, but this came up at my board meeting this week. And actually, the gentleman who brought it up is sitting here, and that's with BreezeLine. I was asked the question, is BreezeLine being held accountable for what's going on in the village now? The broadband committee has been in hiatus for months, really months. And my board member, basically, he was on the broadband committee, and for whatever reason, he's not on it right now, but he brought up this issue that what's going on with BreezeLine? They were supposed to give monthly reports. Did they ever give monthly reports? The equipment, what's the status of their equipment, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm hoping that maybe you could help me and my board member out.
Well, I can tell you that the committee has not met, but BreezeLine, between Donald and myself, if we have an issue, we have a contact person, and that contact person has been 100% on spot, takes care of whatever issues that we have, and hopefully soon we can restart that committee being active. And as far as getting monthly reports, we have not. I know that if there's some major issues, Donald or myself are being informed, and we take care of them. So hopefully in the near future, that committee will reactivate itself. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay.
Excuse me? May I speak?
No, we have somebody coming up, Ed. Wait a minute.
I was on the original, excuse me, I'm going fast. I was on the board.
Oh, I didn't see him.
When all of this, came about on the committee. And at that time, one of the things that I insisted upon, and this is based upon my prior knowledge because I have been in IT and communications for 45 years, I said, what are we going to do regarding quality of service? QoS is what we call it in the industry. And truthfully, since BreezeLine has been here, the QoS has been abysmal. And I'm not just talking about my own unit because I have been working with other people in their units regarding the deficiencies that exist in the equipment. And one of the things that I found out is that BreezeLine does not purchase new equipment. Okay, what they do is they take equipment that has failed, they take it back to their shop, they remanufacture it, and then they put it out as if it was new. Truthfully, this is inferior products. And I know that they are supposed to be here to make a profit. They are not making a profit in this village. And as such, what I have found is that the QoS continuously fails. And unless they are taken to task to ensure that their equipment is up to specification, they are going to continue to do exactly what it is that they have done in the past, and that is nothing.
Okay. Well, all I can say to that, hold on a second, Richard. You had something you wanted to say? Go ahead. I can't see you. You got to stand in the front. Yes. She was standing there.
She
was there first. Go ahead, Richard, please.
Just this, as we were talking, as Fausto was saying earlier, don't come to UCO for condominium issues. I'm paraphrasing from the Articles of Incorporation for UCO. Number 4 says UCO will not interfere in the internal affairs of any association. It's that simple.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Martha Ripp from the Dover Condo Association. And you had mentioned that people should go to the board, like the president and the vice president, with information or questions. They know nothing about running a condominium. Nobody can get a hold of them. They don't correspond through email to let any of the rest of us on the board know what's going on. How can we run an association with people that
Power of your vote. Vote the people that you're not there out. Put people in there that are going to be there.
They have the majority in our association. So they vote all their own in and pick a few of us to be on the board. So we have no recourse. We have no rights to anything. The rest of us, they are in control of everything.
I can give you what my feelings are.
Okay.
So you need to have an active board, and you need to try to make whatever you can to make yourself an active board.
I mean, yeah, right. We're trying, but there's only 5 of us against 15 others on the board.
Did you
They
hear
got
what
the
Richard just
majority.
said? UCO cannot interfere in the business
I
of your building.
understand that.
So you have to make your own decisions. You have to make your own updates.
Okay, we'll do the
I mean,
best.
I wish I had a different answer, but at this point, that's all I can tell you.
Okay.
All right? Thank you. All right. Bobby, could you come up, please? I know you have... Which one? Yeah, I saw her. Did you see her eyeballs? Pop.
I just want to speak about the upcoming elections. I've put 2 notices in the packet today. The notices reiterate everything that you have to know about running for office. I'm really pleased that the last few meetings we've had over 140 delegates here. If a good percentage of you volunteered to run for office, UCO would be running much easier, and we would maintain the quality of life that we've become accustomed to here. You know, we're electing 2 vice presidents. There are 5 vice presidents. It isn't that if you're elected a vice president, you'll be responsible for so much. That work is divided amongst five people.
4 people.
4, I'm sorry. Also, the executive board. It's a wonderful way to keep apprised of what's going on in the village before you get to a meeting here or before you question WPRF. The other thing I want to mention, the second notice that I put in talks about nominations from the floor. That's a very cumbersome procedure. If you're running for office, please get your papers in ahead of time. Don't wait for that meeting. And if you are going to nominate from the floor and second from the floor, please, those 2 people should be sitting together to make it easier to come up to the microphone, sign in. It's a terribly long, complicated procedure, and we'd like to move it along. One other thing, the trip to the Elliott Museum in December was canceled. I personally called everyone who left a deposit and told them that they would get their refund next Wednesday between 9:30 and 10:30 at the clubhouse. If any of you have money that you want returned, I will be at the clubhouse Wednesday between 9:30 and 10:30. That's it.
Sandy, go ahead.
Yeah, what the owners don't know, every board member has to be certified. And the thing is, the owners do not ask to show the board member certification. Any owner can ask the board member if he's certified with the law, and that's basically where your problem is.
Thank you, Sandy. Ed, you had wanted to say something. That wasn't Ed, that was Richard. Oh, that was Richard? Okay. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Bob. Sir, could you let Bob speak? Thank you.
How many World War II vets we got here? World War II vets.
World War II veterans.
Anybody? Okay, if you know one, what? No, I'm speaking for World War II right now. All right? Anybody that served in World War II is now eligible for free medical from the VA. Total. Just go in there, you got to sign up. All right? New law makes it eligible for VA health care benefits, including nursing home care, but you have to apply at the VA. All right? This new law got signed into effect as of December 29th of 22. Section 101 is the law that applies to this. And they just now put it out. It's been in effect for a year, and they just put it out, and I just wanted to make sure everybody's aware of it.
Bob, may I ask you to do an article on what you just said? I think it's important if people will read about it. I needed, I'll pick it up from you.
Bob? Bob?
Yes, sir, go
Back
ahead.
here. Bob, last year, I donated toys for Christmas at the UCO office. Are they still doing that this year?
Yes, PBSO will be to drop them off. PBSO will be here this Wednesday to pick them up. So if you can drop it off between Monday and Tuesday.
Here?
No, at the UCO office.
Monday and Tuesday?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Go ahead, sir.
Good morning, Shalom and Amen. Last month, I tried to tell you a story and I was booed out.
Yeah.
Does anybody know who is the most famous American president for storytelling? I wasn't
Sorry.
born in America. I know this. Huh? Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was a storyteller from the time he was a kid, and he went into the White House, just storytelling, all over America.
Excuse me, sir, we're on.
So if somebody comes up here and wants to tell you a story about the village, please don't boo them out. That's very rude. And the worst, please don't ask the security,
Okay.
which is what they did. Now,
Sir, we're on new business.
this
have
is
to do
new
new
business
business?
about the village. So, how
Okay.
many people in the village?
Lawrence, I need
How
you
many-
to.
Let me ask you a question.
Please.
How many people in the village have fear living here? None?
Sir, I'm
None?
asking you to
None?
stop.
Well, I do. Because you
Okay.
know what? The biggest enemy of the people is prejudice. Before I say something, you look at my color, and then you don't want me to talk. See? It's happening again.
Lawrence, could you escort him out, please? Thank you. All right. Again, I apologize to this body for the disruption. All right.
I have one.
Go ahead, ma'am.
This concerns the VA. I think it's important if people don't know. I have had in 3 different states and counties in the state of Florida horrible experiences with VA because of ignorance.
What does that mean?
I have 3 people in my family that were veterans. 4, actually. And we did not know. I had to go to out of state to go get my father when he was paralyzed in one day. I spent 4 months out there to get him registered with the VA. I bring him back to Florida, go to the VA hospital in a wheelchair, and they said to me, "Oh, you'll have to re-register in Florida."
What'd you do?
Then, when I was in Martin County with my mother and her husband, both veterans, the VA came to our house and wanted me to pay ahead of time for caregivers, and then when the VA would pay us back, and this time I said no.
I understand.
Okay, what nobody, and maybe people don't understand, even in Florida, every time you move counties, you have to re-register.
Okay.
And
Thank you for that information.
And if that's information, maybe that can go in, that information that might go in UCO to help others.
Talk to Bob. He's our liaison with the Veterans Department.
Who?
The gentleman that was up here, Bob. He's probably out in the lobby. Bob Rivera, yes.
The one with the dog.
Yes. Okay. Commissioner Weiss, please. I apologize.
Everybody's leaving.
Good morning, everybody. Couple things. Whoa. All right, that's an act.
We're falling for you.
Couple things just to share with you this morning. Planning, zoning, and building, Palm Beach County. They will be here. Niels will be here, and I expect to be here on December the 15th at 11 a.m. We're going to be talking about illegal contracting, the need to pull permits, and they'll be here and be able to answer lots of different questions for you. So happy to have them here. Also to let you know, last week, I passed the gavel to Commissioner or Vice Mayor Maria Sachs, so I am no longer the county mayor, but to continue to serve as your county commissioner, and quite frankly, I'm not too disappointed with that.
I think we should give Commissioner Weiss a round of applause for the good job that he's done for the village.
And then also want to let you know, because of my service with the National Association of Counties and the work that I've been doing on anti-Semitism, I will be going to the White House next week, and so sharing that good news with you. And last but certainly not least, because won't be here for another meeting until after the first of the year, I want to wish everybody a very happy holiday as well. So, and a very happy New Year. So, thank you.
Thank you. Amy from Ann Gannon's office.
Wow, for once, a microphone's actually at my height. Doesn't happen very often. So, good morning. My name is Amy Ebersbach. I'm from Constitutional Tax Collector Ann Gannon's office. I'm so happy to be here this morning. December 1st, that means if you have not paid your property taxes, get them in this month to be eligible for a 3% discount. You can pay them online. You can pay in person if you make a reservation at one of our service centers. We also have a drop box inside the lobbies of every single service center. If you want to drop off a check there, those drop boxes are checked multiple times a day. So we will collect your check that day. If you don't pay this month, you can pay in January for 2%, February for 1%. March, there is no discount, and you have until March 31st to pay. After that, there will be some penalties applied. Also, as a reminder, our installment payment plan is also open. That means you can pay your taxes in 4 easy installments throughout the year, and you will end up getting about a 4% discount on that. Also want to mention, when I come in January, we should have the new copies of our tax planner and services guides for you. And I hope everyone has a very happy and healthy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Andrew from the Clerk of the Courts.
Good morning, everyone. How y'all doing? Good. So just a couple things. Again, this time of year, biggest problem we have is fraud and property fraud. So we are just asking everyone, please, please, please sign up for our free service. Anything that's done in your name to your property in this county, you will get an alert. We're seeing spikes again. Law enforcement's talking about it as well. It's an easy thing to go onto our website. Just type in property fraud alert when you get to our website. It'll take you 10 seconds to fill out the information, and it can save you a lot of hassle. The other thing we are talking about to everyone is starting January 1st, anything to do with any kind of real estate, any forms and documents that are coming in, there are new requirements. You must have the physical address of the witness for any kind of document included on the form. That's for anything you guys might be doing here at UCO, your own individual buildings. It will be an automatic reject, and we have no way to do anything about that. We have to reject it if that physical address is not included on the form. If you go on the website, again, you can find all the new forms. We've made it real easy for you to find them. Other than that, everyone have a great holiday. Enjoy whatever you are celebrating, and have a happy and safe New Year as well.
Thank you. Do we have any unfinished business? Any unfinished business? Good. Do we have any new business that has not been already discussed? Terrific. No, I hate to ask people to leave the assembly, but this particular one individual continues to come and disrespect his body. You people, you're the delegates, you're the people, he should be respecting us. Do we have a problem? Do you think he should be barred from attending these meetings? Okay. So, well, a disruptive person is asked to leave, which is what we did, okay? That's why I have Lawrence here. He was escorted last week, and last month, PBSO was here, Lawrence was. I don't think he brings anything positive to this assembly, and I leave it up to you. If you tell me, I'll make sure that he's not allowed in this assembly next month. I leave it up to you. So if the vote, go ahead, George. George makes a motion to have that individual barred from attending delegate assembly. Seconder, no, you're against that? I'm sorry? I have a second on the motion. Is there a discussion on the motion? Yes, go ahead.
One at a time, guys.
Hold on. There's microphones in the back, in the front. Okay.
The meetings are open to...
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead, ma'am.
The meetings are open to all residents. If we have to throw them out every month, then we throw them out every month.
Okay. And I understand your point of view, but while he was started to speak, 22 people got up and walked out. So if we wanted to conduct business, there was something that needed to be voted on, we wouldn't have had a quorum and we wouldn't be able to conduct business.
Yeah.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, hi, Jean Merman from Northampton Inn. What I'd like to say is, it sounds like this person obviously wants to do something, but it may not be relevant to us. Right. Maybe what we need to find out is what his problem is and get him the help that he needs. Because if he has something that he wants to get across, maybe there's a different way of doing it than taking it to the delegate assembly. Thank you.
Okay, I leave it up to you. All right. Yes?
I think we should ask a lawyer.
Well,
if we have that right.
Trust me. But, yes, go ahead. Yes. No, I need to bring it up because I need to know the feelings. All right. We'll take it under advisement and we will ask our attorney what he thinks. But it sounded like the majority of the delegates didn't want him to speak. And I hate to cut anybody off. I hate to not to be able to let people say what they need to say. But when I see 22 people getting up and walking out, that's telling me that almost 20% of the delegate assembly doesn't care what he has to say. And yes, okay. That's fine. Okay. No, I'm going to reserve. The majority of the people said yes. I'm going to go to a lawyer and I'll let you know next month. Okay. I'll entertain a motion if there's no other business. Motion made by Joyce, seconded by Sandy. Have a wonderful holiday, everybody.